Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gents, brothers and sisters. It's been my humble moments to be with you all. Good evening and happy Chinese New Year to those who celebrate. And best of luck, health, and success to all of us. So tonight, I'd like to learn together with all of you. Okay, I guess without further ado, I'll please allow me to share my slides. Is it up?
Yes, we can see your slides.
Is it on a slideshow or on the?
For now, it's just PowerPoint, so it's not Zoom yet.
How about now?
We still can see your next slide.
Okay, let me swap. Good.
Yes, now it's perfect.
8, 9.
Okay.
On.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you for the time and for the opportunity and the invitation. I was asked to share my experience on leadership in tough times. On other words, is crisis, but crisis also means opportunity. Depends on our perspective. Okay, so I have time about 30 minutes here. So, okay, that was my time. So I'll share about three contexts. I'll try to share about two crisis times that I've experienced, and I'll end with this try to sustain and a little bit of wisdoms that keep me up on my life principles. So yeah, I went to school to the US, and I came back in 2002, and I got involved in a family business starting 2003, and just a snapshot of it that I had a bit of a crisis starting from 2005 to 2018. Yeah, it's a long time. It's about 13, 14 years, and then the COVID-19 crisis, and then yeah, those are the two crises that I personally experienced. And so I'll start with my first crisis. Of course, there are more than this, but I'll try to cap it into two crises that I can share with you tonight because of the time limitation. So this is a snapshot of so we start, I guess my grandfather, Wismilak, started off with the PT Glorajaya, and it was established back in 62. And I guess this area, we started off with a partnership with our family, friends and families back in 62, and everything goes up and well. And there was a crisis back in 77 to 84. I will not go over that because of time limitation. And then I came back in 2002, 2003, and that's where I experiences. There's an ups and down in between, but and then 2013 and 2019. So these are being an entrepreneur. So we always have a crisis. Depends on how we look at it. And actually, crisis is good because that means that we have to take a look at things seriously. It's our time to transform, especially now with the digital era. Things is going very fast, very quick. So we have to take a look at things seriously and move forward so that we don't leave behind and we can thrive. So I'll share, this is the first case that I experienced personally back in 2015. Yeah, so I started into the family business back in 2003, 2004. And then my mom got sick 2005, passed away 2007. And then things went well in 2007, 8, 9. We went for IPO 2012. And then 2011, 13 to 12, I always have this concern about how slow we are progressing, how slow we are adapting to the what's happening in the digital era back then. So finally, back in 2013, 14, I drafted things to do alignments. So we have about 5,000 people, and it's not easy to talk with every one of them. I guess it's almost impossible. It's not practical. It's not efficient to do it. So I have to talk with the senior members, and these are the issues that we experience. So mostly about sales and marketing department, and also the factory or product matters, and also with our senior management. So as you know, I'm a third generation, so I'm inherited with a very strict, very I would say hierarchical organization. Is very good. It's very up to the standard, but on the other hand, it's a bit slow to adapt with what's happening on the field. So these are, I would say, we were in a comfort zone. It's everything is about short term versus long term mindset, because everything we had a micromanaging process, and everything everything has to come down from the top management. So meaning that because the top management is always we have meetings of we talk about detailed stuff. So that means if there's no instruction from the top management, then they're not must ask the bosses. So these things are I don't feel it comfortable back in starting 2011, 2012. So we're lagging of big goal and clarity of works, and lagging of sense of agencies, trust of learning, because we've been waiting for any instruction from the top management, and they're lagging of a frontline obsession. Frontline obsession meaning that normally entrepreneurs, founders, they very obsessed with the front line, with the sales and marketing. So not first generation normally they do it themselves, but as the organization growing, so that means more people involved, more layers coming in. So that means they are lagging more and more fake entrepreneurship, and more professional kind of leadership. So these are some of the issues that I was experiencing. So back sales marketing is not creative enough because they've been waiting for any instruction from above, not creative enough, and lagging speed of product innovation issues. Just to for a glimpse of what we have, we in Indonesia there are 2.5 million, 3 million outlets, and we cover about 10 to 15% of the outlets in Indonesia. So you're talking about 200, 250 outlets, and these are the hierarchical organization from general managers down to this level. So you're talking about between 9 to 11 layers. So it's not easy. And as you know, nowadays things are very specific, very custom. So that means that despite of the horizontal distribution, but we also have to go deep. We have to be able to go deep and touch the heart of our consumers. So that means we have to be able to prioritize, the 2080 concept. So we have to prioritize on the 20, go deep on the 20% of the outlets, and the most important outlets to be able to affect gradually to the 80% of the outlets. So I guess these are a good principle that I've been holding on. If you go this fight this with this book, Fight Dysfunction of a Team by Patrick Lencioni, these all the issues. If we have absence of trust, then there's a issues of vulnerability. So people are afraid to come up with ideas or talk in the meetings because there's a fear of conflicts. So there's what you see about the service is artificial harmony. So everything looks okay, everything looks good, but actually nothing is happening. Nothing is no accountability and no resolution and all that. So that means a lack of commitment. Because there's an ambiguity, people confuse what to do. Okay, so we stay on the safe side, on the status quo. So avoidance of accountability. So what the outcome of it is low standard, and then there's no intention to resolve. Because why? Because of status and ego. So these are the 5 dysfunctions of a team that keep me in mind. So when there is seems like artificial harmony, everything looks good, then that means not good. So be careful. So I started off with leading with purpose and empathy, and I played tennis for a while. So I always like to look at it from this perspective. I guess some of you who watch tennis, for example, like this recent Australian Open, Nadal just won the 31st Grand Slam, and the commentator always asks him about, okay, after winning this round, there's a semifinal, quarterfinals. What do you think about breaking the record of 31st Grand Slam? And these tennis players, these top tennis players, they normally always focus and nurture and embrace the principles. One step at a time. I'm gonna just focusing on the next match and try to do well, to do good, and one step at a time. And actually, this is resemblance of the what us to be entrepreneurs. We are constantly facing challenges and risk. And the way I see it, we are corporate athletes because we always, tennis players, they play on a court, they win, they can sleep. But entrepreneurs, normally, we always have something big to think of, something not exciting to think of. So this is the issue of being entrepreneurs. So what normally our issues are, facing society and the reality positively. So how can we lead positively, make a positive energy to our team so that we can make an impact, make a difference. So these are 3 concepts that I've been holding on really strongly. There are 3 things, actually basically just a clarity of why, discipline of how, and consistency of what. So why, discipline of how. So I guess why, how, what, we've been hearing that everywhere. But to me, the clarity, the discipline, and consistency is important. It's more important than the result because it's a process. Clarity, discipline, and consistency. So I've been sharing with a lot of people, and I was sharing the same thing because it is not easy to achieve. So I keep reminding myself and also my friends out there to understand this. And I got this from Daniel Pink, a famous author. I guess a lot of you, most of you have read this. Just a reminder that to boost productivity is we have to work with our staff, and autonomy, mastery, and purpose is very important for us to keep sharing and keep clarifying to them so that they understand why we're doing this, and that's going to be a good alignment. And okay, so we're talking about clarity of why, discipline, how, and consistency of what. Starting from the first, why. Why is very important because it's a fundamental of it. So luckily, I have this artifacts from my grandfather. Um, he's got a very strong philosophy, which is respect the parents and honor the family name and pride. Number two is happiness is, doing good, doing nice is a way of happiness. And it's a big goal. And so we have to do things step by step. So these three: respect parents, do good deeds, integrity, and do it step by steps. So step by step, there are 6 items to align. We have leading with empathy and purpose, breaking it down into 6 steps, defining current situation, defining mission and visions, the flexible, aligned goals, meta performance, monitor metrics. I'm not going to go over all of this, but I'm just going to mention some of it. So I'm going to start with the current situation. The person first, because everything is happens for a reason. So I'd like to know the reason behind it. So reason is not just reason, because reason is done by people, by person, by my team personally. So I like to know the background, the fundamentals personally, why they're doing that. So apparently I did this through Gallup test. And this is the result. Most of my team, there are 4 quarters here, being entrepreneurs, administrator, integrator, and produce. So apparently my team is very strong in administration and production, but they are not very good in a entrepreneurship, meaning that taking risk or looking at opportunity for a long term. And because we have a lot of layers and a lot of departments, so that means that the collaboration skill is not there, because they really in a little bit of a silo mentality. They really take care of their own department. So that means that I have to do my part as an integrator and the long-term strategic entrepreneurs to help to make this circle more balanced. So this is a bit detail about the personal test from Gallup. So this is my personal test. I'm more of a futuristic activator, included connectedness responsibility, and my first layers team, they are more like this, which is probably you can see generally is more on the production and administration. So I need to close the gap between this, between the vision and the executors. So what I do is, okay, I break it down. I do the similar. I mean, what everybody's do. I'm not going to go over this in detail, but do SWOT analysis, and then this is the values chain. How customer think. Since we are in consumer good, this is a taste aroma. So that's what we try to map it out, and what we're trying to prioritize. And this is our goal and ambition. Market acquisition, starting from each outlet to achieve company profitability, company staff, careers, and community give back. So these are the sort of statements of objectives that we're trying to achieve. So I try to break it down into a framework. So this was done in 2012, 2013. So I try to empower people to change their behavior, to learn and grow, and to achieve more together, and then to translate strategy into playbook, try to simplify it, and generate and celebrate quick wins. And what are the prerequisites, and what are the tools, the IT infrastructure, OKR, 4DX, and all that. And then the personal behaviors. So these are, 2013. We went for IPO 2012. Our company was doing great. And while we're doing great, I try to transform the organization by doing the three steps, 3 frameworks: fundamental, advanced, and effective and efficient. So I had this, I shared this with a lot of people back then. And of course, the fundamental of this thing is the infrastructure, information technology infrastructure. Why? Because when we ask people to do Then we create a structure of it, how to do it. Then most importantly is how to measure it so that people understand what to achieve. Without explaining to them what to achieve, it's useless. So I have my journey that I installed SAP, the ERP, so that people know what to do and how to achieve it, and how to measure it. So this is a glimpse of the advanced field framework, which is the last, which is normally the CRM, consumer relationship management. So we have to do well and reward our customers, our outlets, our wholesalers. And then HR programs, human resource. It's a how we ask people, and obviously how do we appreciate them and reward them. And mobility and real-time incentive and commission. They sell how much and they'll get what. So this is how we try to make them experience and knows what to achieve and what do they get for it, what is it for them. So what I did was, after we've been like 40-50 years around, and the organization is pretty hierarchical, pretty sturdy, and it's too strict. So I made a two organization system here. One's hierarchical and the one is network. I call it not network operating system. So what here is everybody is treated the same, and I can hear a lot of things directly, because on the hierarchical, the lower level reports to the one level or maximum two levels above them only. So at the top management, we don't hear much about it. So that's why I'm collecting change agents in the center here, guiding coalition, and everybody can say the same in every meetings, every topics that relevant. I invited to talk and share, and I asked the top management not to, not to be angry or not to stop them from reporting what is really happening on the field. So this is network organization, means that it's like a lab in a factory. So it's a where we can play around with new things, and then once it's achieved, then we can put it back into the hierarchical organization to make it more efficient and share the common resource, budgeting. So this is another clarity of why, because this is stated by the founders, and stick and carrot. We have to do well to get the carrot, the fruit of it. Otherwise, we're gonna get the stick of it. And of course, there's a diploma here. Diploma means that we also have to learn. We have to study. We have to go to school so that we can implement what we study. And we also created this purpose book, Apa yang Membuatmu Indonesia, because we are Indonesian company, so we have to stay relevant in Indonesia. And this is a purpose statement in Wismilak, so that together, apology that this slides is in Bahasa, and to be a facilitator for those who want to work hard and learn and grow and grow and implement and do good things, to add values and implement their excellence ideas for the success of together. So this is also in line with the founder's philosophy. So I try to link everything from the founder philosophy, trying to understand what my grandfathers, my parents have been doing, and try to stay relevant and translate it with the current language and situation. So we have the clarity of why, and then this is the discipline of how. It was done. It was finished and socialized back in 2019. So it's not too long ago. It took me 7-8 years to, to to make a team, to redefine, and to socialize it. So these are the new core values that we socialize. We created and socialized. It's BMS, bersama meraih sukses, is more like collaborative value and integrity, and then a continuous improvement. And these are the 7 behaviors, more about empathy, about being an ambassador for Wismilak. So when you go out, you represent Wismilak, and effective, efficient, speak with data, collaborative, decisive, open mind. There are a lot of debates in our meetings, but they are not based on data. So that's why speak with data is very important here. Yeah, to be collaborative and open mind. So this is how we, we have our core values and behaviors defined. But then the challenge is, how do we implement it? How do we make it? How do we live up these core values and behaviors? So actually there are a lot of steps. There are 3 steps. And first is mobilization, trying to establish sense of urgencies, from power guiding coalition, change agents, and then creating the core values. So we have created the core values and then try to make a movement. So we communicate, and again, we have several departments, and every department has different values and different way of mindset. So so we ask them to, okay, we socialize these 3 core values and 7 behaviors, and try to come up with what they're going to do with this in their own departments that relate with their activities, and then sustain. So we consolidate the improvement and produce more changes, institutionalize, and all that. And then this is part of the HR. Continuous improvement is important, because we used to do, very detailed top-down management kind of a operation. But now it's more important for us to, it's more bottom-up, because the field understands better what's happening out there. So we want them to, continually improve our processes, system and processes, so that we can, continually improve and stay relevant. So we do a suggestion system, quality control circle. This so suggestion system is anything simple. You can, and we do a competition for all of them that give a suggestion system to the organization. Quality QCC, quality control system, is a suggestion system done by across departments. As I guess I mentioned that our departments is very fat, so they tend to work in silo. So it's not easy for them to work together. So QCC is a one tool for them to work together, and the finance department will help them to, what kind of efficiencies and the financial can contribute to the company. And then CI, competition conference. So we used to do it once a year. Now, since we've been receiving like starting from 200 to 300 suggestions in the past, but starting last year, we received 500 or 600 suggestions. So there are a lot, and so we want to do it twice a year. So there are a lot of enthusiastic people trying to contribute to our company. So that's good. So this is one of the, instead of a top down, it's a bottom up. And then we do evaluation and recognition, and so on. EOS is employees online surveys. We do this extensive surveys every 3 years. So we're talking about 400 questions. We ask for a genuine answers for them. Normally like 400, 500 people participated. And this is very, very helpful for us to prioritize how we can contribute more to the people. So the result here is this is our calendar this year, 2022. Calendar is one of my way to communicate with my people. I've been doing this for like 6-7 years, starting 2016, I believe. And this is done by our own staff. And I guess what I like to pinpoint is, yes, one is we're doing a 60th anniversary this year. We were established in 62, and they come up with this slogan: "Sukses bersama kualitas produk and SDM kuat." So product and HR is the key for our success that we've been trying to develop it during the crisis back in starting 2013 till 2018 and 19. So basically, the summary of those strategy to overcome with our crisis back starting all this time. So we start with the reason of how to stay relevant, and then we define our values and culture, and then 3 P's. Everything is not only for profit, but we also give back for people and also for planet. So that's our why. So we define our purpose. We try to be a facilitator for those people who want to learn and grow, and implement it for real actions for the success of together. And then this is the master plan. Then we do a competencies survey by division, and in consumer good we do 5 P's: product, place, price, promotion. So these are the objective, and everything's, I call it the strategies execution. So execution is everything. Ideas actually is cheap, but execution, the long-term execution is the key to make success. And so that comes to the consistency of what. So we've gone to from the clarity of why, and then the discipline of how, and then to come up with the consistency of what. Yeah, basically it's explaining to people that we are not doing it only for profit. We've done that. Of course, we need profit to start it off, but then we also have to concern about people and the environment. Yeah. Sorry, but going back here, it will not make sense without KPIs. So this is still in the on progress works. So profit, we have all the KPIs, but for people, we need to do, human capital management KPIs, health and safety KPIs, and all that. So it's in ongoing progress, so that people will understand that everything they do will result in this for the society. So this is part of the process of discipline of how to make people work and make actions. I tried to come up with the frameworks, but I guess you remember that I have the 3 frameworks: the fundamental, the advanced, and effective market penetration frameworks. And basically that's to create a quick win, yeah? To create a emotional experience. Okay, I win it, I'm successful. Sometimes, a lot of times, when we give big goals, it's really hard to achieve. 6 months is too long. So I try to make it like 3 monthly. And once they know that, okay, when they achieve something and then they got rewarded by this kind of rewards, and they understand, okay, I got the rewards and I'm happy with it, and that will create beliefs, and then people will get more motivated to make actions and resolve. So basically, this emotional experiences is to create belief, and basically through trust. So what we do to transform our organization is to create belief, come up with result, and then we can transform to culture square and then the culture cubes. So this is basically the framework that I've been doing. I think this is pretty effective, and it's important that we map, okay, what kind of experience that we want to do. So we start with the current experience and what we want to achieve, and then what belief that we're having now, and what kind of belief that we are trying to give, and actions and all that. OKR, I guess I mentioned before about OKR. So these are good objective and key result founded by the Intel's back then in the 70s. Also a key structure for Google is successful like nowadays. Basically, this is like an example of how to come out from the crisis. So this is, we come up with the objective and then the result, and we break it down into each of the departments. And then we do this 3 monthly, and we keep updating the status of it. And if there's any priority we need to pay attention to, then we try to prioritize and focus on that thing and try to make a successful strategy and result for that 3 months, and then we move on. So this is also good that we can map it out across departments, because normally departments work on their own, but now we see that is a GM, the marketing works, in line in a horizontal line. So basically what we're trying to achieve is try to do alignment here with purpose, mission, vision, values, and then the result is important to make to give a safe environment so that people trust on the organization, who are what's the top management objective, so that they can communicate and they can be creative and contribute, and that will create, I guess, oxytocin. You can Google it up. Oxytocin is a it's not hormone, it's a neurotransmitter when we happy at work, is healthier for all of us, and to anti-aging and growing organization environment. So back, it all comes down from started off from our foundation philosophy from our founders, from my grandfather. This is my grandma, this is my grandpa, and this is my grandfather's partner, with the 3 philosophy: hormati orang tua, junjung nama baik, dan kebanggaan keluarga. Do good deeds is a path for happiness, and then do things step by step. For business, if you do, there's a one moment, 1 year, you can grow like 50% performance, and then the next year you down 10%, next year you up 20%, and then that's kind of fluctuation is not good for, because it's not good for business, because it's really hard to to do future planning. Yeah, right. So the path is okay. So started from the founder's philosophy. We rejuvenate our values and behaviors. We also work we define our SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, basically for economy, for education, for health, and all that, and to achieve our purpose in the company. So we also do this we've been doing this for 12 years as a real implementation of what we do for the society. Diplomat Success Challenge, 12 years. This is last year. Actually, now it's about 78% proposal we received, and it's about 19 billion modal usaha. And we have a alumni of entrepreneurs success challenge called Diploma Entrepreneurs Network. We have about 500-ish now, and I also joined the Apindo UMKM SMEs so that we can stay more relevant, and how we contribute from what we're learning. And also, actually, because we are in consumer good, we also reaching out to those people so that we can learn together and be more relevant, and what are the products that we can give and share to other people. So that was the first. That's the first my first crisis, starting from 2008 to 2018. It was a long journey for me. I read a lot I didn't go to business school, so I learned that from my friends, how to make big goals and try to break it down into small steps and reward the people and groom the people, nurture people so that we can learn and grow together. So one of the application as a result of that journey is that the Corona, the pandemic crisis. Just short while from this is, as you all know, I'm not go over this in detail. The situation was fear and anxiety, uncertainty. So while there's crisis, there must be an opportunity for growth. So we also break it down to each division. So back then in 2020, early 2020 March, we started to reflect what's happening, right? And it's too big to be true, too big for us to digest. So our core values is being tested. So we have this core value is bersama meraih sukses, integrity, and continuous improvement. So we try to embrace that values to survive and thrive within this situation. We have these issues, a lot of issues, human resource capacity, UJK, oil issues, rupiah, currencies, and all that. So also we have political issues, and how can we reflect and survive from this kind of issues. So we look back at our values. This is my personal values. I also define my personal values. There's afraid of God, health, be authentic, lead empathy, add values in careers. So we try to embrace these values. And so then we come up with this idea that, how to decrease fear and anxiety for certainty. So we realize that we cannot run away from our team. Our team is everything. So we have to protect our team. So we created a network organization led by our human resource department. And we also realized and committed that the number one priority would be to protect the health of our staff, of our family in the Bismillah group. And then the second one will be the operational and the financial aspect of it. So this is just example of what we came up with to make certainty. We came up with a green, yellow, orange, red kind of situation, and we break it down into the sickness, and then the impact of our business, and the suggestion for our public. So depending on the situation, like I think right now we are on the between yellow and orange, but this was defined back in 2020, early 2020. So whenever we say, okay, we are on a yellow code, oh, we are on a red code, we are on a green code, so that everybody can understand what to do in terms of financial aspect of it, and so on. So this is the kind of organization that we created. We have a team of finance director, support head, and this is a hierarchical organization. This is a normal, conventional, and we make a new organization just like before that. Okay, this is a network structure. So, the factory head here, the marketing head. So these are the heads of this team. We call it gugus tugas, yeah, same as the government. And we have a guiding coalition here, me here, the director, GA, everything is here, but everybody can report to us and can talk with us directly and discuss of what's going on and try to make a decision quickly. Well, just like social distancing, we come up with electronic-based solution. I'm not going to go through this. And these are from human resources, the recruitment, human resource, MOD and PW, and it depends on the situation. In certain times that okay, if it is heavy, then we're gonna freeze new hires. If it is okay, then we do a limited interview, offline interview in January, for example, right? So CNB is a compensation benefit. HRS is a human resource and information system. Yeah, so these are the kind of clarification that we do. So during crisis, clarity is important because everything is uncertain. So these are the just example of what we do. Documentation is good, and this is for marketing division. Again, they go back to the values and then the company master plan, and then what we do. And so again, this is a marketing division, and depending on the code, they have a red, orange, yellow, green. And let's say if it is a green code, then we can build image awareness and usage. You know, existing brand, new brands, they are new brand is a new launch brand. So we do awareness, we have promotion, and usage is a trial the people. And then with this red, then we try to limit all of the activities. So we have an alignment clarity of, okay, this is code, and everybody understand this is what they need to do. Sales division, you know, talking about 1,100 people out on the field. So we try to, we implement the digital system of it. We use handheld and try to convey all the messages through the handheld. Yeah, so digital, less contact, social distancing. So those are the two crises that I'd like to share with you. COVID-19 as a result from our practice back in from the earlier period. So I'd like to end with this session with how to sustain and some wisdom that I learned. So a lot of the entrepreneurs or businessmen, we have this kind of issues, challenges, or conflicts in ourselves. So we have to lead by examples, and we always have pressure to how to prioritize. We want a lot. We want a lot of things. We want this and that. But how do we prioritize? And then how do we identify the crisis? And then actually, entrepreneurs, we have a lot of ideas, too many ideas. So how do we prioritize? And actually, the strategy is how to execute it. Without a team, we cannot be successful on what we do. So once the team is growing, how do we transform our team so that they can work with us? We have an alignment with the top management and stay relevant. And then how do we endure it? How do we value it? Enduring our values. Succession planning, for example, you know, I'm a third generation, and the take-home values from my 40, 50 years of life is that succession planning is about succession values. So it's important for parents to do a storytelling that, you know, based on the situation and condition back then, and this is what they did and why, which is representing of the values that that they hold. And then future talent. So my dad used to say that as a businessman, we cannot consider as successful if we have a lot of money, but we can consider ourselves successful if we can get a successful successor. It's not easy, but that's our job. We have to be perfect, unfortunately. So this is some survey. I got this from a book, from Jim Collins' book, I believe. And this is from about 16,000 professionals that what do they expect from leaders? And especially it's not only a decision maker or visionary, a communicator, but it's all about integrity. And I look it up at the Wikipedia here. What is integrity? It's about practice of being honest and showing consistent and compromising it. Adherence to strong moral and ethical. So consistent and compromising is very difficult task. It's a very heavy task to do. So that means that we have to do all this above across time. We have to stay honest. We have to stay with our core values and principle along the time. And I'm going to skip this. And okay, how to sustain? Now we are in the changing, era. I guess even millennial now they're about 35, 40 years old now. So we're talking about, even younger people. And apparently, they need more feedback from us, from leaders, so that they know what to expect. I guess in the past, we know we had people work for us for 10 years, 20 years, even until they die. But nowadays, I guess if you can have somebody work for us for 2, 3 years, we are lucky enough. So it's even more important to have a constant communication with our subordinates, with our family in a company organization. And this is where the digital tools comes in. So these are my journey. So during crisis, normally, reconnect and what a strategy, what's the current situation, and defining the goals. We try to transform. We do a big, hairy, audacious goal and do small wins. Culture, favorite progress. Again, clarity of why, discipline of how, and consistency of what, deliveries, and what are the behaviors that we expect to adapt with the new era. Then we create frameworks, and then we do the dual operating system. The hierarchical organization and the network organization. You have the lab organization, and try to effectively execute it. Of course, creating trust and leading with empathy is the bottom line of the foundation of doing all that, so that people will move and trust and give result. Another definition that I always remind to my friends, when I share, is this thing, what is purpose and what is values. So, and why this is important, because we need to have purpose and values so that we can lead and be successful and happiness. But purpose is the result we want to create, so it's an objective, and values is the principle. So principle is a collective of values that will guide us when we are tested, when we having challenges like COVID-19 right now. So it's important to define our values. How do we define values? Is try to see who are our figure, who are our icon that we'd like to follow, and why we're following these people. For myself, for example, I love to, my mom is one of my life figure that I always follow. And so I break it down into those values to guide my principle. Nowadays, we are in the digital era. We meet up and network with a lot of people, either offline, physically, or digitally. And it's important to have our own principles so that we know what we're doing and we don't get lost along the way. And so to be happy, we need to know our values. To be successful, we need to know our purpose, which is the goal. So again, clarity of why, discipline how, and consistency of what. And something new here is I just watched Marvel. I guess maybe many of you have watched the Iron Fist, Marvel and Netflix. I like this term: with practice comes mastery, with mastery comes knowledge, and knowledge comes strength. That's from the Kunlun Masters, just for the sake of it. And it's important also for us how to sustain this crisis, is that we know that we have three horizons. This is done by McKinsey Research. And horizon one is what business that bringing us cash flow right now, but we also not stay in the comfort zone, and we look at the horizon two within 3 to 5 years. What we see within 3 to 5 years can be good for us, and what is our BHAG ultimately a longer term, what we want to achieve, something that seems silly, ridiculous, but probably it's in line with our passion, what we love to do. So along the way, we define and expand our current core business, and we also revamp our internal organization. preparing for the Horizon 2 and Horizon 3. So my life learning is in a large organization, to be effective, it must be simple, must have self-confidence and intellectual self-assurance. So we have PHAC, but we must break it down into short wins. To fulfill, we need to give fulfillment of autonomy to our people, to our staff. We give them space to work, not to micromanage. Let them master what they do, and we give them the purpose and try to get a buy-in from them. And staff happiness is key to one's health in a flowing organization. And personality test is also one way to understand our people, and we can do it regularly so that we can keep check and balances of okay, what we've done good today, this year, and what to improve next year. So it's important within your HR organization to record this so that we can learn and go together. All of these are very heavy, and understand it's not easy, and energy is everything. So that's why I'm obsessed with managing energy. So this is one way of managing energy. I learned meditation as well. The first day I joined this class is this is the masters, Umesh. He asked us to write down these 4 sentences, actually 3 sentences, and I embrace it to one more. So one is be patient, trust, be positive, and add values. Patient because we don't know what's lie ahead. We think that we've been working very, very hard, but there's no result. But in my experience, it's when I wait and believe that God is upon me, and of course all of these challenges comes for learning, and when the times comes, I enjoy like double or triple of the kind of expectation that I have. So it is amazing. So patience is important. Trust the process of being patient, and what God's work upon us. Try to be positive. I believe that we be positive even though we're in a downturn, but if we stay positive, it will attract a positive energy. So there's kind of a trust, a faith that I try to always embrace. Not easy, when deep down, it's not easy to be positive, but try our best with this belief. And in the meantime, that doesn't mean that we just stay not working or anything, but we always try to add values. We always work hard, try to contribute and add values to other people. Then everything will comes out amazing. So pray, open heart, open mind. And I also like this quote by Maya Angelou. We cannot work alone, even though we are the smartest people in the organization or company. We cannot work alone. We always need our staff, our families to work together with us, and so make them feel what we trying to achieve for better goods for everybody is very, very important. So that's why in the triangular shape that I shared with you is emotional experience is important, because it will make them feel and come up with trust. I like Satya Nadella because he lead by empathy, and a leader is a dealer in hope by Napoleon. So thank you so much. Hopefully it's helpful, and it's my a few crisis sharing for you guys tonight. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, there used to be this one lady who told me, like, to solve the problem is not the problem. To have someone else to solve the problem is the problem. So managing yourself is one thing, but managing others is a completely different game, especially after layers that have been established since the time of your grandfather. So to be able to create an organization of thousands of people and to manage the ship through all these difficult waters, having an experience that we are very lucky today that we can hear firsthand from Mr. Ronald WALLA. So thank you very much. It's been our pleasure. So Mr. Ronald, we have a small gift of certificate for you. Can please kindly give the certificate?
Thank you. Sorry, a bit too long.
It's okay. It's not every day that we can have you here. So we are very blessed and you're very lucky.
Yeah, because I believe the clarity of why is important to motivate all of us to be, to persevere and survive and thrive. But it's not easy. So that's why when we pray, we always say the same thing to remind us.
Without the why, there is no use of the how, and there is no use of the what.
Yeah.
So why you do it? Why we do it, we can know. But why everything others can do it is that we have the same why is very difficult.
When you don't know why, then everything is very shallow. So when we achieve that numbers, okay, we got $1 billion in our pocket, then what? So then we become empty.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ronald, can you please kindly accept the certificate? Team, please kindly take a pictures of this glorious moment.
Okay, thank you. Let's take a picture, Pak. Okay, thank you. Finish.
Thank you so much for the certificate.
All right. So we move right to the